Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. This week we got some exciting guests from ATEM Car Club, Richie and Mel. Somnium, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope we're doing well. Thanks for popping on, Mo and Rich. Hope you're doing well.
Doing good, thanks, mate. Thanks for having us.
Good. Doing great. Love the intro music, Somnium.
Yeah, it wasn't audible actually. I was gonna play something else, but I was like, I should probably play the garage music because that's kind of relevant, right?
Wait, so what were you going to play? Just for everyone's knowledge, Somnium texted me yesterday and was like, I have this great idea for an intro song, but we never followed up for what it was going to be. So let's hear. Well,
Garage was either gonna be the intro or outro, but we'll do it as the outro. It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise. We'll hear later in the show.
Love a good mystery.
Usually we start off these spaces with the week that was in FLUF World, and I think one of the major pieces of the week was the Probably Nothing newsletter, which comes out monthly and happened to come out over the past week, and it had a lot of information about the Gods and Goblin myth. Sam, do you want to talk about that info, or do you want me to take that?
You can take it if you want. I'm gonna start pinning stuff.
Gotcha. So there's 3 different options for sacrificing, and all the things that are being sacrificed are seekers in a void background. So before, like a long time ago, people were speculating about different things that you could sacrifice, but it turns out that, at least for this time, what we're sacrificing is seekers in a void background, and if you sacrifice one seeker in a void background, you get, like, I guess the 3rd tier rarity amulet. If you do 5 seekers, then you get the 2nd tier amulet, like the middle rarity amulet, and if you do 15 seekers, you get the rarest of the amulet options. So that was the information that we learned this week. We also saw the release of the ATEM Garage, which included an arcade game and a bunch of other things that we're going to cover today, but we won't get into the details of that right now because that's kind of the theme of the show. So we'll cover that over the course of the next hour. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I would like to include in the Probably Nothing newsletter. ATEM had a little part in there talking about TBR, Thunder Bunny Racing. I encourage everybody here to go maybe click the links to their website in the Probably Nothing newsletter and learn about them a little bit. They're going to be doing some really, really cool stuff for us with the 240SX. And this whole entire job has me pumped. This car is going to be something truly amazing, and there's going to be some steady stream of content coming out along the journey. I know not everybody in the ecosystem are car fans, but I encourage everybody, take part, watch some of these videos that are getting ready to come out, and learn a thing or two, and try to get immersed a little bit in car culture.
Is this the 2nd car build being done in the ATEM ecosystem?
This is the first real life car. We recently moved it from Florida to South Carolina. That's where TBR, Thunder Bunny Racing headquarters, is located. And I don't know if you guys have been seeing a lot of the stuff I've been retweeting, but Samuel Hernandez, that's his Twitter account. I've been retweeting a lot of this stuff. You guys kind of get a glimpse of what their shop looks like. Yeah, they're a pretty big racing team.
Maybe we can pin.
They just got 2nd place last year in the national championship for CODA, which stands for Circuit of the Americas.
CODA means different in NFT world.
I know, right? We're all just a bunch of degens. But yeah, it's COTA, Circuit of the Americas. But yeah, this whole entire build, speaking with them, they're super excited. They're pumped. This is like, the vibes they give off and the motivation they have towards this project truly amazes me. I can't wait till you guys learn more about the team. I guess I can continue with this a little bit more. There's going to be, when we get to like the kind of the cosmetic decisions on the car, I'm going to be, hosting a lot of polls, within the Discord, and I would love everybody to participate because, this is a club car. All club members, they have a say, and they can make some decisions on like some of the cosmetic designs and looks and feels of the car. And I appreciate everybody, even if you're a car lover or not a car lover or somewhere in between, participate and give us your feedback.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been participating a good bit on the game there, but I can't seem to beat the scores.
Did you get sub 2 at least?
Yeah, I got sub 2, but not cutting the corners. You know what I mean? Not
anything
really
sub 2
hitting
is
the-
good in my opinion. But
Yeah, good, not
I'm
great.
blown away with these
We'll work
1
on it.
minute 54 seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like certain turns you have to do it a certain way, and like also the RNG comes into play in terms of a certain turn where if a car is in the way, you just don't have a choice but to hit it. Otherwise, you're not going to get the best score. But people are figuring it out. It's been fun.
Would like to hear from one of those people that's like in the top 10. That would be, if you're in the top 10, please jump onto the stage later.
I know
to
Tybo
talk
is.
Yeah,
If we can get a hold of him.
I need to know. I'm so slow.
Richie, are you great at building it, but not great at playing it?
Something like that. Something like that.
Well, I'd be curious to know kind of like the building experience of it, and kind of like not even just the game, just like the garage in general, and kind of what your favorite parts of it were, and just kind of the process in general, if you'd like.
Can we actually take a step back and do
Yeah,
intros
sure.
and then do that? So
Yeah.
the next
That's
step is let's introduce our guests, or have our guests introduce themselves. Tell us who you are, what your background is, how you got into FLUF World, and what you do for ATEM Racing, what your roles are.
Well, I'll kick it off.
You go.
My name is Matt. Before I became a NFT G-Gen and getting connections and involved with ATEM Car Club, I was in the United States Marine Corps for 10 years. And during that time, I also worked with the Department of State. After I got out, I went and got a college degree, business degree. And I joined FLUF World back when they minted. I think I saw someone mention it on Twitter, and I rushed over to the project and I minted myself 1 bunny. And thus, that's where I get my Discord handle, MoFluff. That's my bunny's name. I think I covered all the questions. Was there anything else in there that I missed?
What do you do for ATEM?
Oh, community manager, and then I also make myself available for any other side projects and everything in between.
Love it. Rich.
I am Rich, or Richie Rich. I am a senior front-end developer for ATEM Car Club. I'm a web developer by trade. I've been in the ecosystem since Party Bears. So Secret QT, I think he minted me just after the mint of FLUFs, kept showing me the FLUFs and the ASM brains, and I kind of looked at them and I'm like, it looks a bit weird. I'm not really sure what to do. I've been in crypto since 2017, so that jump was a bit weird for me. And then he kept showing me, and by the time I came around, it was outside of my reach. And then the Party Bear mint came along, and I jumped on that, and I've been in and loved it ever since.
And what do you do at ATEM?
So I'm senior front-end developer.
So, for people that might not know what that term means, what are like some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Anything website related, pretty much. So whether it's, you know, website updates right through to building garage experiences that we're here to talk about today. So anything front end. So yeah, like the on-track Mint that we done. So that was my first or one of my first Mint experiences, or was my first Mint experience as a developer, which is pretty cool. So yeah, anything front end facing. So if you browse any website, that's all front end. So I build that stuff essentially.
The experiences, making it pretty, and you know, getting that user experience down right is kind of the whole front end. Is
Yeah, that's my speciality. There's one thing building something, but it's another. You know, I try and build with the user in mind all the time, and so it's very important to me. So that's my main focus.
yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
I got a quick question for Somnium and Max, if it's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to ask, out of the garage, what is your guys' favorite experience?
That's a good one. I like that there's music. That's like a nice side thing, but not my like favorite thing. I would have to say the game, honestly. The game is probably the most entertaining thing that I find.
I like that there's a lot of different places you can go and press buttons and access things.
Yeah, that's also a really cool part of it.
But like, it's not like any of those things that you can access are like, you know, super groundbreaking or cool that move the needles. But you can see that the setup's there for when there is an activation that's worthwhile. It's a clean setup for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't imagine claiming cars and stuff. It's a super cool
that's gonna be
experience.
cool. My favorite is probably the no one's been able to see it yet or experience it yet, but when we do live streams on Twitch, you guys can actually watch that from the garage.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
I will definitely be tuning in that way next time. Or whenever that is live.
The
What
next.
about the secret room? We're never going to be able to get in there, huh?
I wouldn't say never.
Well,
Definitely not
never
never.
say never. Definitely not never.
I have a code I
But
can
just-
share probably towards the end. I know you've been asking a lot, Somnium, and I have a code just for you.
Oh, great. I think I
Whoa.
know it.
Got some
Well, so Rich-
inside info there.
Yeah, well.
I probably should have waited till later on to even tease it. But oh well.
So, Rich, how was the experience kind of building it and the process involved? And if you can talk about any like tools you used or what your most, what your favorite, part of building it was type thing?
There's a team of us working on it, which is cool, right from, the 3D artists building the actual models, and then they're built in Unity. So yeah, all the individual models, the garage itself, we then import them in. We're using 3JS to build the WebGL experience, it's been a really cool experience, very challenging at times, and really the journey has just begun. This is very much like an alpha release. It's going to be a very iterative process. We're going to be pushing updates, optimizations, new features, new interactions as frequently as we can. So this is very much a start point for us rather than, the end point. This is just the beginning, really.
Yeah, I love that. It's always an iterative process, and definitely excited for more iteration to the garage. What was your favorite thing in the garage in terms of both on the build side and just from a user experience side?
For me, I really enjoyed building the individual interactions quite a bit. The garage itself was really cool and building that, but I've had a lot of fun building the, like integrating the games and bringing in some Easter eggs. They've been a great deal of fun, so I'm going to enjoy keep adding to those. The interactions I'd say are my favorite part, but the garage itself is definitely the most challenging. Lots of hurdles to overcome frequently, but it's a good positive challenge.
Well, you guys did a kick-ass job, that's for sure.
Yeah, the team have done really good. It's been amazing.
So before I interrupted for the introductions, do we remember what we were discussing?
I think it was Gods and Goblins or something. You mentioned the updates around the sacrifice or something?
Anyway, I guess let's move on. So let's talk about the different interactions within the garage, I guess.
Oh, we already did what you interrupted about. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay, sweet. So let's take a look at some of the different interactions in the garage individually, and I guess talk about them one by one. So when you first walk into the garage, there's a car on the first floor, and you can change the car to, like, I think there's 4 options.
Yeah.
And I guess the concept behind that is that's where you keep your car.
Yeah, so at the moment, this is a generic garage experience. Our roadmap is, wallet connection, and that area is where you'll see your own cars eventually. So there'll be your NFTs that are inside your wallet. You'll be able to cycle through them and view them, essentially.
So I guess the garage experience is going to be token gated, and you connect your wallet and you get a custom experience matching the types of NFTs you have. So that experience is customized for each wallet.
Yeah, that's the aim for sure. That's our roadmap. I think there'll always be a generic garage for people to experience. I think our vision is to move everything inside that garage from our website. So that's the garage is our website experience, and then you can connect your wallet and have your own experience based on your wallet's contents, essentially.
Awesome. So other things that you can do in the garage right now are you can go to this vending machine looking thing where you can claim what's called on-track digital collectibles. And for now, there was a collectible associated with the partnership with or sponsorship of Julia. Can you help me with the last name?
Londour.
Julia Londour, where if you didn't claim these digital collectibles, you can do so by clicking through the vending machine, which I thought is pretty, a good way to stage it. Then if you keep walking straight, you get to the drawing table where you can see a bunch of sketches about, I guess, well, maybe someone can tell me about these sketches?
Yeah, so if you watched recently the Schiller, Von Schiller and Jeff Twitch stream that's now uploaded on YouTube and can also be viewed in the garage at the monitor TV to the left of the arcade machine. Jeff went into a good amount of detail about blueprints and recipes. And Aaron also recently leaked a piece of the Third Kingdom roadmap, and I believe crafting was on that list. So you guys can probably use your imaginations and kind of understand that nanobots are going to collect blueprints, and we get the resources and materials. Parts might come out the other end. So that's all I'll say on that.
Interesting. So some type of mechanic relating to like the normal thing that people do with antique cars and also racing cars, which is to put on different parts and customize it.
Yeah, that's a big part of car culture. Just fine-tuning a car, customizing it to like your specific style and the way you like things. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Sweet. Another thing you can do is if you go to the couch with the coffee table, you can read the Under the Hood magazines, which is, I guess, the ATEM Car Club's equivalent of I guess the Futureverse is a monthly newsletter, and it has monthly issues starting from September with some content about ATEM.
Yeah. So the main goal, mission of that magazine is, I understand, people work, people got jobs, they don't spend all day on Discord. So this is our way to cater to them. And I recap the previous month, everything that happened from leaks that Jeff shared or leaks that happened, community activations, updates on the 240. And, and I recap the month and I put it in this nice, easy, understand package for, just to be there for those that don't spend all day on Discord. They can just get their one-stop shop of information.
Awesome. And then the only other thing that I can find on the first floor is when you go to this area on the back left where you can see it's like a very high-tech car lift, more high-tech than the normal car lift you see. When you hover over that, it says car claim coming soon.
Yep, exactly what it says on the tin.
And then if you go up the stairs to the second floor, there's also a bunch
of one item.
There is one more down there.
I missed one. Okay, we're going back down the stairs. Where do I go?
So, kind of opposite the
the TV.
Table. Yeah.
Open underground?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, there's a TV where if you click into that, it navigates you to the Futureverse or our FLUF World underground, which is pretty cool. I guess that's a step towards interoperability of all these different platforms and apps.
Correct. Just making this a destination for people to do as much as they can do.
And when you go up the stairs, the first thing you can do is there's something called On Track, and if you click into that, you can learn more about it. Do you want to tell us about On Track?
I'll let you take that, Mo.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that. So, On Track is our way to put drivers exactly like it says, on track. And for those of you that weren't around for Julia, we sponsor up and coming drivers. Like, we're not looking for drivers on top. We're looking for, drivers that want to be on top one day, right? And, we want to help them achieve that vision and that goal, and, we back them. And after we sponsor cars, there's a digital collectible, celebrating the sponsorship and the driver and how they did, and the car that we sponsored that usually has, some cool ATEM graphics on it. And we charge like 0.001 ETH for these cards, and that's like $2 per card. make it affordable. We want to kind of be like realistic when you go to a bubblegum machine, you know, buy a pack of cards or whatnot. But this is what gets recycled back into the community to support future sponsorships. And we have a goal in the future to have mechanics in place to where community members can submit their own drivers that they would like to see sponsored, and we can host votes for those types of decisions. Yeah, that's the On Track program in a nutshell.
Awesome. That sounds great. And the concept of moving between digital and, you know, in person and in real life type of interactions.
I guess I'd like to also, you know, tack on there that the real life aspect's a big deal. With the Julia sponsorship, we were given some VIP pit passes tickets, and we were able to send 4 club members, you know, to be right next to, like, right in the pit. Like, we saw some of the gifts that Big Hino made. It's probably my favorite gift, the one where Julia's car is pulling up. Yeah, Miami right? Homestead. Miami Homestead. But probably one of my favorite gifts is the one that Big Hino made when the car's pulling into a pit stop and then his FLUF is running up to change the tire on the car. It was gold. But
that's so good. So good.
I gotta see that one. The next thing is there's like this pin where it's got the numbers 0 through 9. And apparently Mo is going to give us some type of code to see what happens when you fill in the 6 numbers. He's gonna
prank us, Max.
It's not for real.
He's gonna give us a fake one.
A fake code. Well, I don't know what happens.
Only one way to find out.
I don't know what happens if you put in the right code. I haven't gotten to that step yet. But further along the wall, there's an arcade machine. And there's this game that you can play. And there's a leaderboard where you put your Discord ID after you play the game, and you try to, like, go around the track as quick as possible while avoiding crashes. So, have you guys all played it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I've done all right. I'm not the best.
Yeah, it's as Mo said earlier, anything under 2 minutes is a good time, and the guys in the top 10 are just ridiculous. It's phenomenal. I think Mo will talk about a bit of a challenge we've got going on this month, but moving forward, this will just be one of a collection of games that we have here. We'll eventually have, you know, a library of games that you'll be able to play and participate in inside the garage. You can submit ideas if you've got ideas, or you want to see a particular game in there. If we can find a way of, you know, as long as it's open source and we can use it, and we can kind of make some modifications, we can put it in the garage. And also, I invite people to, if they're capable, to make their own games, and you know, as long as they meet all security specs, happy to host them in there too. So this will be like a game center rather than just a single arcade machine.
Did you make this particular game in-house, or was it outsourced, or is that information that we could learn?
No, it's an open source game that I modified, but it's an open source game essentially. So it was made it's out in the open, but I've just modified it for our needs.
Awesome. And then the next thing that you can do is you can go to Ascari's media library, and you can see some relevant videos and media. And right now there's 8 videos that you can watch: the Burn Down trailer, the Futureverse trailer, the Buzzy trailer, the ATEM Asto Staking trailer, the Crypto Walkers trailer, the Party Bear Road Trippin' video, a Silo Year in Review video, and the recent stream that Von Schiller and Jeff did on, I think, Twitch. So those are the 8 items that you could see, and I think you guys talked about live streaming probably from that TV screen. So that's cool.
Yeah, just underneath those videos, you'll see, live stream. I think it's not streaming right now, but as soon as ATEM Club is streaming, it will be at the top of those videos. Just click on that, and it'll open up the viewer and just relax and watch away from inside the garage.
Awesome. So I guess that's we covered all the different interactions in the garage, and I think that's a nice, fun first step to the garage. Anything you guys want to add about the garage experience or what we can expect in the future garage experiences?
So we've got a roadmap in Discord that kind of lays out at a high level what we're aiming to do. You'll eventually be able to, once you've claimed your cars, you'll be able to configure them inside the garage. Once we add wallet connectivity, you'll be able to see your cards and what cards you have at a different interaction point. So yeah, there's lots planned and lots coming up. I don't know if Mo, if you want to talk about what you've got going on from inside the garage.
Yeah, I'll run through the Discord announcement and talk about the roadmaps, all the roadmap items, and starting with wallet integration, and then we're gonna have mobile support, and then future mint claims, just like the on track. We intend to use the garage for a lot of stuff, and you'll be going in there and experiencing your mints from inside the garage. Loading your own vehicles, customization of vehicles, initiating burn down races. So yeah, think of the garage as your hub to be able to execute a lot of things. And then even later on, customizing the garage yourself. Might be able to add some of your own items and things to look at. Third-person experiences with avatars. Be awesome to be able to see your favorite avatars running around the garage. And then multiplayer experiences. That is all it's on the roadmap. And then, also I'll recap. There's a arcade machine tournament going on. Everybody that successfully completes one full race, you'll be prompted to enter your Discord ID in. And we'll collect that data the day before my stream at the end of this month, and we're going to be doing a marbles race. If you happen to get first place, each unique player, so if you race 10 times, you're not going to get entered 10 times unless you got one of the first 10 spots. First place will get 10 marbles in the race. Second place will get 8. Third will get 5, and 4th through 10th place will get 2 marbles. And up until 500 players, we'll have 1 marble each per person.
So everyone listening, what you should do right now, if you haven't played the game and entered your Discord ID, is you should probably do that for a chance to win a prize.
And then to take it a step further, we want everybody to play, and we want everybody to have a fun time. So, and of course, we got to take care of our club members, right? Those are the club members. They're going to get rewarded a little bit better. I have 2 prize wheels. If you guys seen how I did marbles races in the past, a lot of RNG in it, right? The marbles race itself is RNG, and then whoever wins the race, they get a little experience from RNG as well, and they get to spin a wheel, and the wheel has a bunch of prizes on it, and whatever prize lands on, that's what you're going to get. And the club member wheel has better odds at better prizes, and the driver's wheel still has good prizes, but the odds are decreased. So if you own a membership card and you haven't verified in the Discord yet, it would probably be in your best interest.
So my best time in this game was 1 minute 58.2 seconds, which I was pretty proud of myself for. But it's definitely not on the leaderboard. So if anyone in our audience is on the leaderboard, it would be really cool to hear from you on like what that takes, like what the strategy I guess is, or what type of race you need to put together to get onto the leaderboard. In the meantime, if because I'm not sure if we're gonna get one of those people to come on stage. Somnium, do you want to ask a question or your regular question that our audience loves?
Okay, all right. What are you guys most excited for that you can talk about? No leaks, no alpha, just what are you most excited for?
Myself?
Yeah, it can be about ATEM or it can be anything else. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, I'm really amped for this. I already said it in the beginning, and I'll say it again. This 240SX build, it's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun, and I can't wait until we like really get the ball rolling and some content rolling out for that.
I wanna see some community members in that car, just slamming the gas.
Well,
That's
I'm going to say, you guys check out the TBR's website and see some of the stuff they offer. You know, it might show you some capabilities this future, the future of this relationship can bring to the club.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that car looks awesome. So yeah, like I'm very excited to see that build out and how that all rolls out. I'm really looking forward to the car claim as well from inside our project, but from outside of our project, I can't wait to. I'm really sorry, Tom, to burn some seekers. I apologize.
Not my seekers though, so
True.
you do with them whatever you gotta do, but I'll tell you you shouldn't, but you know that's on you, Richie.
I'll have some left over.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm also excited for Burn Down, so whenever that comes out, might be a ways down the line, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Burn Down's in development. It's it's being worked on. I think we shared a very, very rough beginning video of it, and yeah, a lot of fine tuning from there, and some what am I thinking? The word.
I can't imagine what the cars are also going to look like once we claim too, just like as an NFT even. Just could be like a 3D thing, or well, obviously it's gonna be 3D, but
yeah, the level of work that goes into the cars is phenomenal. The team are incredibly talented, and like the details impeccable. So they're going to be well worth the wait. Everything's amazing. I've seen a few, and wow, they're pretty bloody good.
Well, I got a Mars rover and a Seeker Club Cup, so I think those are my rarest. That will probably be some pretty sick cars, but we'll have to see.
I just looked at the top 10 times. I'm introducing Tybo right now. I looked at the top 10 times, and the first 3 times are 1 minute 53.4, and then 4 through 9 are all 1:53.5. So it's like, I don't know, it's like everyone's kind of tied. And Tybo has 2 of the times that are 1:53.5. So Tybo, tell us, how did you do it?
You just don't stop and go straight as much as you can without going off the edge or braking. If you brake, you won't be able to beat the time.
I'm assuming you probably don't crash at all.
No, of course not. You have to have basically a perfect run. But I slowed down a tiny bit. That's why I don't have the same score as the top one. I'm like
When-
0.1 off the top score.
When you're going around the curves, is the strategy to hold the either the left or the right button?
Yeah,
Or-
so basically, like, there's this one big corner around 38 to 40 seconds that if you don't perfectly stay to the right, because it's a big turn to the right, if you're not right on the edge as you're turning, and then you also have to hope that there's no cars that are going to be in the way, because you pretty much have to just hope that there's no cars, because if there is, I just pretty much restart the race, because the cars are RNG, so it's randomly generated, right? So I'm always trying to get like a good RNG on the car position so I can get around that big corner. But it's part of the main fun of the game is when you get those corners perfectly, because and when there's hectic cars in the way and you have to weave through them pretty quickly. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You just got to not hit the cars and stay inside the corners as much as possible at full speed at 150 miles per hour.
Can I ask you how many attempts it took you to get that time?
I wouldn't know. I didn't count. But
more than 10?
Yeah, way more than 10. Because
I don't feel so bad.
So the problem isn't necessarily the skill; it's more to do with the RNG. If the cars are in the way, I pretty much can't beat the record, so I just instantly restart. So I just have to hope to get the RNG so I can get around that corner. Otherwise,
so it really is all about the corner at 38 seconds.
It's the main one. There is one more, but it's not as bad. But that one is the hardest and the most difficult to make sure you pull it off because of the cars that might be in the way.
For the other more tame corners, do you tap or do you hold?
Always hold unless there's cars in the way, and then you have to like let go of it. It just depends on the situation. But if there's no cars, I'm always holding unless I'm too close to the side, because you don't want to. If you hit the edge, sometimes even if you hit the edge, it will make you stop completely. I think it's a bug. Like, you don't even hit like a sign or anything; it just stops you. So you got to make sure you don't go over the edge as well, because that also slows you down, which then the time you want is pretty much 150 miles to the finish the whole time to get the top score.
Gotcha.
But the reason why I came up is with the mint that we're going to claim with ATEM Car Club, is that all going to eventually be on the Root network, or are we going to mint the cars on ETH first?
I'm not sure at this point. I think the plan is Root, although I'm not entirely sure.
No worries. I was just curious because I know that bridging is happening soonish, and I know you guys will be claiming, and I know there's going to be some sort of customization that we'll be able to do to upgrade the metadata. So I was just wondering if that means most of that will happen on the Root network. So cool. We'll wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, all the details will be dropped at some point soon. It's all kind of, all being laid out. So.
Rich, when you presented this game to us, did you expect the top 9 places to be so close to each other?
No. We're Kieran, he in like development, he absolutely dominated. Myself, Matt, like everyone that tested it, he was a good few seconds ahead, and I was like, oh, that's the time to beat. I don't think he would be on the top 10 at this point. So it's taken me by surprise for sure. So yeah, I don't know.
I thought Kyron was untouchable, and then here we are releasing it to the public, and they just dominate it.
I wonder if any of these players that are getting into the top 10 want to try to win that Bored Ape Dookie run game that's coming out soon. It seems like we have a lot of talented members of our community at these types of games.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it because the ATEM Car Club inspired the idea of like, hey, like if I can give it a shot, because the thing is, like, anyone can buy a pass, and there's some pretty crazy gamers out there. I'm by no means a top gamer. I'm just a long time enthusiast, so it comes more naturally to me. But there's some pretty crazy people.
If you want to give it a shot without buying it, you can. I can accommodate that.
All right, cool. Well, I was gonna ask. So, Richie, did you have some development in that racing game?
So it's an open source game that I've modified. And it's not heavily modified, but it is tweaked for our needs. Yeah, that's not something I developed myself.
Do you design the racetrack?
The track itself is that's in code, but all the sprites that we use, they're all that's what I've modified, or one of the elements I've modified. There's a lot of variables that you can tweak: top speed, length of the track, width of the track, number of vehicles, and then the largest part of the modification was the scoreboard, and this game just goes on and on and on. It's actually a never-ending game, so
there's a lot to it. Yeah,
it's actually a finish. Yeah.
Is there a chance you could add .000 at the end, so we could maybe see like if the times are exactly the same?
I've already done that. That's on my next release. I've already done that because I wasn't expecting it to be this close. So I've added some hundreds of seconds because it's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah. And about if there was ever to be an upgrade of another track, I would like to see more longer corners, because I feel like that's where the real skill comes from. I don't know if that is doable, but the more cooler corners there are, the more fun it gets, I think.
I enjoy the corners as well. That's probably my favorite part, when you're taking that first big corner.
And you do it perfect. It feels so satisfying.
That's cool. That's great feedback. And this may not be the only racing game that we have. There'll be plenty of arcade machine games that we'll have. But I'll definitely look into what I can do track-wise. It would be cool to mix it up. But if it's going to take heaps of time, it's probably time not worth it.
Oh yeah,
so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out. Whatever's easy, and maybe tweaking the vehicles, because sometimes it gets like there's just like 20 cars in like one spot randomly. I don't know if that can be fixed at all, but it just seems a bit broken sometimes. Not always. That doesn't happen all the time. Just randomly sometimes. Just wanted to share the feedback.
I'm not doing anything that makes you faster, mate.
You sound like you just want it to be easier, Tyler.
No, like I want the RNG to be balanced. I actually like the idea of swerving through the cars and actually managing that.
When boost button.
When boost button, because I feel like that would add a dynamic.
A space bar.
When NOS release.
Or if there was random boosts on the ground that you'd have to go to collect, then it would give you an extra like 10k speed, or and that would add a dynamic way. But it would have to be the same amount each race.
Now we're getting into professional games.
Speaking of games, though, I want to know if you guys can help me remember someone in the community. So a while back, FLUF had a competition. I forget what it was. I think it might have been even this is a side-scrolling FLUF running competition. But someone, that Temple Run game? They made that game, but with a FLUF. Does anybody else remember this, or is it just me?
I think it's just you. It's to me
No,
anyway.
I think I remember. Was it Ken Cover, maybe? I can't remember.
Really? That's what I'm trying to find out. Because I thought,
Are you
I was just thinking, community-made games for the arcade. That could be a fun one.
Are you talking about the 2D game or the 3D game that was never released as an actual game?
If you ever played Temple Run,
But
I never played the Dookie Dash game, but I imagine I picture it a lot like the Temple Run game. But someone made this game, but it's a FLUF avatar, and you run, you're picking up coins, and you're jumping over obstacles, and you're sliding under obstacles and jumping over gaps and whatnot.
It wasn't actually playable.
Yeah, I think it was playable.
Did you play?
I never played it, but I saw videos of this person playing it.
No, but there were videos, but it wasn't like a playable game. That was King Kaba. It wasn't like something that any of us could literally play. But he did make it, and I think I'm not sure what program he used, but one of those programs for creating content. It might have been on Unreal Engine, I'm not sure.
Okay, so it was just a visual. It wasn't an actual game engine or anything.
Yeah, well, if it was a game, it was not made available to the public. There was a little silly 2D game from a long time ago that someone made. I don't know. You have to be a pretty OG to remember that. It's called like Run Fluffs Run or something. And it token gate. Well, no, it didn't token gate. You got to choose what fur color you wanted for your fluff, but it was in like very large pixels. And it was pretty funny, but it wasn't a very good game. Anyway, I definitely want to encourage anyone from the audience to join us because we want to allow our guests to get back to what they were working on. So if you have any questions for them, now's the time. I guess let's assume nobody else has a question. So let me ask, is there anything that we haven't covered today that you wanted to cover? Also, we have a speaker coming up, so.
Oh, no. Somnium called it a prank, and, I think he just rugged everybody in this Twitter space. So I'm not going to share it no more.
Wait, that's mean.
Yeah, Somnium's such a meanie, I know.
Hey, you're taking my curiosity and ripping it to shreds. Now you have my attention.
So has anyone been to the other side of that code? Is there even a code that works?
There is.
Mo, that was rude of you.
I know it.
I haven't been able to hear this whole time until just then, but it was a joke. But it's because I know there's a couple gags in there, so just saying. Don't be mad.
Well, on behalf of all of the loyal listeners, I will ask that you please give us the code. Thank you.
Okay. The code is 02. No, it's 24680.
024680. What?
No, cut the 0. 24680.
When I put that in, it says "Get 'em, try again," and it has a troll face. Okay, we're moving on. AGM, welcome to the stage. Did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, hey, thanks for bringing me up. My question, which I'm guessing probably I'm going to get rejected on, is asking for alpha around the unrevealed cards. If there's any hints that can be dropped around that?
We're pretty locked tight on that one.
Wait, why'd
But-
you say the word alpha? You should have just called it something.
Yeah, this is an alpha-free show.
Okay, so
No.
if you're locked tight, I'm just going to infer that it's locked tight in the same way that many of the other things in Futureverse that have been really locked up tight have been related to
Wait,
partnerships.
no, it's actually
Yeah, pretty much.
Loctite. You ever heard of like the super glue like type thing? It's actually them.
Yeah,
Crazy, no?
it's locked tight for bolts on
Yep,
engines.
there you go.
Right? So you have a big sponsorship with a product company that makes Loctite, for your vehicle maintenance needs.
I knew it, dude. That's I got
Yeah,
it.
that's
See?
got me very
kidding.
hyped.
See, that's the alpha.
I'm kidding.
That's the alpha. Nuts and bolts.
But to go back to what you were saying, it is a shared partnership with both Futureverse. They kind of go together. So you're on the right track for why it hasn't been announced yet. But we'll leave it at that.
Okay, I can accept that. That's enough. That's enough for me. Still keep me excited about it. All right, thanks, guys. That's all I wanted to ask.
Yeah, cool. Anybody else? Encourage you guys to come up, hang out.
Hey.
We have Octopus, Money
Hey.
Multipliers.
What's up, y'all? Hey, I appreciate I'm just diving in here today, diving in deep. But so like the rarer cars, is there any other perks other than just cool factor, like they might be kind of cooler looking with different types of paints, or is there like any other benefit to having those, like a tiered system for like a % of ownership of cars or anything like that? Or
So I can tell you that on the track, all cars will be on a level playing field. We're not going to have, cars on a track that, we want the game to be even and fair for everybody. So when you're playing the game, the cars are on track. They're going to all be racing on a level playing field. As far as like, the club membership cards is what it takes to be part of the club. And the club membership card, that unlocks a lot of extra features that's, just going to make the game all around more enjoyable. Like when it comes to crafting and blueprints and recipes, a membership, you're gonna want a membership or know somebody that does. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right, so let's thank our guests for coming on. Rishi, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. Really appreciate your hosting, and thanks to those that came up and asked questions. If you got any other questions or around anything, I'm in Discord, so just hit me up in there, and I'll answer what I can. Appreciate it, guys.
So big thank you for Richie and for Mo, and let's give them some heart emojis. Or
I have a last word. if
ooh,
you
the
don't
last
mind.
word from Mo.
Yeah, I just like to encourage, everybody, when you're out and about and you just you see that car, that makes you turn your head twice and you want to look at it, snap a photo, share it in the driver's lounge. All of us like to look at good cars too, and that's what it's all about, car culture, showing off that cool car you saw today. And like the other day, I shared a picture of the car. The other day, I went to Max will appreciate this, but I went to the Asian supermarket. I bought everything I needed to make hot pie at home. And when I left the supermarket, in the parking lot was a DeLorean. And this thing was like mint condition, pretty clean. I made me turn my, actually I was driving out. I parked my car, hopped out just so I could take a picture of this thing and share it in the Discord. So I encourage everybody here to do the same. If you just see that car that makes you turn your head twice, snap a photo, share it in the Discord. We're happy to check it out.
Retweet to that, sir.
Awesome.
We love the cars.
So let's get some hearts up for Richie and Mo. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming on, guys. See you next time.
Cheers, Mel.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Richie. Thanks for the game. It was fun.
So Sam, Tybo, everyone else on stage, do you think we should continue? Is there any other topics about other future worlds you want to talk about, or should we call it a night?
We could talk about the pledge. If we haven't already.
Yeah, well,
You mean
we
the
talked
saving?
about it in the beginning, but if you want, we talked about the basics of it. We went over, the mechanics that were announced. But is there?
What do you think you're gonna do? Are you planning on being the level 3 rarity, or what's your plan of action,
I'm
Max?
a firm believer in saving the seekers.
And what does that
That's what
entail?
I'm talking
No
about, Max.
sacrificing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Max, where's your dark side? Come on, it's got to be somewhere.
Well, I actually do have a dark side.
But it's not in sacrificing.
From my public persona, I'm pro seekers.
No, I'm planning on burning 15. I don't even know if I have 16 void seekers. I need to figure that out because the floor keeps rising. I think there's a lot of hype right now on the floor price of the seekers. I think last time we were talking about it with Captain KBD, it was like 0.07 for a void seeker, and then I was like, the seeker floor is gonna get swept, and now I'm seeing 0.12, which is crazy. I didn't expect it to be like that ridiculous. Some people were like, yeah, I've got like 75, I've got 150. Yeah, people are going ham on wanting to sacrifice.
Well, if you look at like the seekers and you sort on, I don't know, let's say OpenSea, but maybe it's better to
It's
do
happening.
it on a different site. But if you sort from price low to high, you don't see any void backgrounds for quite a while.
Oh yeah, and just to add, I think we were all speculating that like certain backgrounds would have the land parcel involved, and then I'm looking at these floor seekers like Dune Temple, the Moonlight Garden, like those look like backgrounds that could have land parcels. So, under 0.1 for a land parcel for me is something that I want to keep my eyes on as the hype dies down again.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next stages of what Seekers have going on and incentivized nodes this year, and yeah, the dashboard. So everybody put the names they'd like to see for the dashboard. There's a suggestion form.
Wait, can I talk about the one that the name that I came up
Yeah,
with?
sure.
The hub.
See, that's just too broad. And as we know, there's many hubs out there, and it just sounds not great. Not great. Also, I think it's a reference to maybe an explicit site, so don't know what you've been watching there, Max, but I mean, hey, you can't hate it, but do you have anything better up your sleeve?
I don't know. When people talk about like a central place for communications, they refer to it as a communications hub. I don't know what other communication,
Well, like
and
a
that's
relay.
like
The
a
relay.
relay.
Or seeker relay. I kind of like that one.
A seeker relay.
Yeah.
Can we get some other opinions from the audience?
But yeah, that's going on right now. So if anybody wants to put anything in the suggestion form there, that is in our Discord announcements. So be sure to check that out. We've also got
What's your
our
favorite
3D
meme
comp going
profile?
on. Wait a second. We've still got our 3D comp going on, so be sure to enter that. We have a live stream, I believe, in 2 days. I've pinned it to the top there.
No, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Apologies.
It's tomorrow at, I believe, 5 Eastern time.
I want to say it's the same time as this, so should be 7 Eastern. Or no, I'll check the times. Anyways, it's tomorrow.
It says 5 Eastern on.
Okay, 5 Eastern. Well, yeah. So we'll have a good animation tutorial. So if anybody wants to check that out and learn a bit on how to animate their seekers, come through. We'd love to have you. Some major prizes there for the competition, so make sure to enter. We've got Thor on the stage. We actually want to talk about some ASM stuff as well, so we can dive into that whenever, but welcome to the stage, Thor. How are you?
Yeah, thanks. I just came up to talk about the ASM ASTO energy findings, so whenever you guys are ready.
Sweet. Yeah.
Wait, why don't we go for it? Also, where is Pufferfish?
That's a good question. Let me hit him up.
Okay, stage is yours, Thor.
So, there were some discussions with some people trying to figure out now that the LBA LP tokens are unlocked and you're bridging them over to just regular Uniswap LP tokens, yet still retaining the 20% bonus. That the idea is that if you were to unpair that LP and take the ASTO that's inside and take the USDC inside and then use that USDC and buy more ASTO with it, you're going to double the amount of ASTO you have. True. And if you want to be 100% exposed to ASTO for that amount of capital that you've put in there, then that's your play. But then they said that they were staking that ASTO back into the program and earning more ASTO energy than they originally were from the LP staking. And that didn't sound right. So went through the numbers and calculations and was able to show that that's not actually true, that you're earning more ASTO energy per dollar value in that LP token than you are if you were to withdraw it and go to full ASTO. And I think that if people just want to go full 100% exposure to ASTO, all good. But if the cherry on top was that you could also then get more ASTO energy, get twice as much ASTO energy, then I just want it out there in the community that that's actually not true. And if that was leading some decision making, that it's just better to keep everybody as informed as possible. So you earn more ASTO energy by just keeping your liquidity in the LP token and staking it for that 20% bonus, because you're earning ASTO energy not solely on the ASTO that's represented by that LP token, but by the total value that that token represents, and then 20% on top of it. So just wanted to put that out there because, if that's, we're seeing a little bit of additional withdrawals of LP as folks are pulling out. So just kind of keeping people informed.
Do you think the goal of keeping a very liquid currency, which is something that David has said time and time again is very important to him and to the ASTO team or the ASM team, do you think they are doing enough to incentivize people to either buy LP tokens or or to participate in LPing in general?
So, oofda. That's kind of a hairy topic.
Tough question,
I think
right?
the answer would be no, but hopefully with this understanding that you're not simply earning ASTO energy based off of the ASTO represented by your LP. You're actually earning ASTO by the total value of your LP. I think that was not understood by the community, so perhaps that will dissuade some people from continuing to pull out. But to go back to your original question, a 20% booster, maybe that's not enough. And if it was a higher priority for them, it's not unreasonable to think that couldn't get pushed to 40. I mean, what number would you need to see to
or
get you in
maybe
the LP?
other forms of incentivization? For example, one thing that was done previously was allowing people that participated in the auction to get a free background that can be used on fluffs and bears. So there's definitely more things that are possible to incentivize, in addition to like extra percentage earned of ASTO energy.
Yeah, maybe every once in a while throw a background at them, but also just keeping the message.
Well, yeah, I don't mean just that, but I mean like there's so many things that they can do to reward anyone that they choose to reward.
There's been mention of buying
Well, I'm
back
not
of the
sure if people
LP
really-
tokens with ASTO energy. So
Right.
that I think
hold on
could
a
be an
second.
interesting way.
I mean, I think it's just not well understood the value that you're getting with the LP. So you're getting a synthetic token from their Cortex, but you're also continuing to earn the 0.3% exchange fees that anytime somebody interacts with that Uniswap pool. So you're building, and I understand that, part of your investment is in a low cap altcoin, but you're earning off of every exchange that's going through, and half of that LP token is stabilized in USDC. So just when you really dive into like all these small little pathways, I mean, it could really show people to put money back into the liquidity pool.
I would say that the volume on this particular altcoin is not super high compared to like, I don't know, meme coins, for example. So in comparison to the market cap or the fully diluted market cap, the volume is much smaller than you would expect from a lot of other types of coins. So maybe the 0.3% of trading fees, it doesn't really get you that far.
Yeah, but it's something. So just keeping everybody abreast as to what they're getting.
Let's hear from Marco.
Yeah, I am one of those that withdrew from the LP, I think around 4 or 5 cents. Because from my perspective, the 20% boost for ASTO energy, which at the time and still continues to be, can only be used for Gen 2 brains that are basically liquid. My perspective at that point in time was that I can double my ASTO stack, and I think that my 2x on ASTO, I think that ASTO will outperform the 20% boost over the long term. The new LP idea changes my perspective on that probably substantially, but even so, my own personal position is it just makes more sense for me to be sitting in liquid ASTO, considering it's an altcoin and other things I got going on in my portfolio. But all that said, 20% isn't enough. I think that the LP fees are basically a nothing, especially if over time we assume that there is going to be larger liquidity on presumably centralized exchanges, such that it's almost like long term I see not much volume on chain. That there's a lot of influx here, right? About, well, if this goes to root, then we gotta migrate our LP tokens, and that's a mess. And I forget who I was talking with about this the other day, but for me, the I'm going to assume that the LP is going to be migrated to root. I think that is the time for the team to deploy any new incentives, not only just because I think they need to be adjusted as is, but I think as we've seen when other coins move around, even L1 to L2, liquidity doesn't go with it unless it's incentivized. I think, Uniswap is probably the large exception to that. So just even getting people to migrate at all is probably going to need a little nudge. So those are my thoughts there. I think I also harvested a tax loss too out of my LP position there because we were upside down in the bit. So another little trickle of cash flow there. That's all.
Good explanation. Thor, did you want to add anything?
No, I mostly agreed with everything you said.
This has been a good amount of education. I wonder if there's anyone in the audience that maybe didn't understand all of it, and if so, it will be, don't hesitate to either type something in one of the channels where we can read it, or to jump on stage and ask. It's a high level topic, and we don't expect everyone that's listening to fully understand all the things that we said.
When moon.
Well, I'm gonna move on. So don't hesitate to ask for more information or for us to explain certain parts in further detail. Is there any other topics you want to talk about? Or is it time to call it a night? Oh, do we want to talk about impermanent loss, Tybo? Do you want to talk about impermanent loss?
Basically, impermanent loss means whatever tokens you put in at the time into an LP, you have to recognize that as people are buying and selling, that changes the price, which also changes your token amount. And the reason why it's called impermanent loss is because you may have a different token amount when you pull out your LP, but the value, as long as the price isn't swayed too high or too low, should still be there in either the USDC or ASTO, depending on the LP position as well. Some are in ETH and the other token pairing. But just there's tools you can use where you can calculate what the impermanent loss will be. And normally there's some sort of incentivization to LPing where you LP and you get rewarded in something. And in this case, we get ASTO energy and also the 0.3%. But other incentives could be more ASTO tokens. So I would imagine when we do migrate to the root network, or if there's a liquidity pool built on the root network, we could be incentivized to LP there and earn ASTO as well as ASTO energy. But that remains to be seen. The team haven't confirmed that. But there's tools we can use with impermanent loss to determine how much our token allocation is going to change from the moment we put in the ASTO and with this case USDC.
Yeah, I would just say to wrap it up, I guess I do agree with Thor and Marklar that the incentivization as currently understood for LPing is pretty weak compared to other protocols that I've seen, where there's like an allocation given of that token. So in this case, it would be an allocation of ASTO that's like given per day or per week or per period for those that are staking, and thus providing liquidity for the pool. And in this case, we're just getting a boost on ASTO energy, which is something you can't really sell, except to the extent that you mine Gen 2 brains and try to sell those, but there's very limited liquidity available there. So yeah, it does seem a little bit weak to me. So I don't know what the team thinks about that, or if anyone has talked to the team about it.
Said that the ASTO energy that you stack will be able to, and we don't know the method of which this is going to occur, but let's say a third-party game wants 10,000 brains, then there's somehow going to be an exchange between the value that company brings to the community in exchange for ASTO energy. So, I mean, anything beyond that's kind of speculation, but maybe they're saying, okay, we're going to give, who knows, right? I'm just making up numbers, but maybe it's $5 a brain, $10 a brain, whatever it is, and then there's an exchange for however much ASTO energy is required to create a brain, and then that's kind of your exchange rate. So 234,000 ASTO energy for whatever that price is. Something like that has been alluded to, but we don't know any of the details.
I think that's the only thing that makes sense, because right now the model of many participants selling to many individual, like the many to many model that we have going right now, like that's not going to scale. That's never going to work. Like, it's just a bunch of monotonous globs of brains. Like, this is where, like, we need a centralized warehouse that can sell volume of brains to company X when they want to come in and use it. And that's where I think the notion that that's accomplished by swapping for ASTO energies for LP as a payment in kind makes sense, just from a scaling perspective, let alone an incentive to us perspective.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I feel like a lot of all of this is theoretical, because currently the brains don't really do anything. They do have the use case with the thingies, but that's a specialized brain. And even then, it's a little bit, it's cool to make art and stuff, but it's not like as dynamic a use case as there will be. So yeah, this is going to take a long time for all the things to happen. I'm not 100% sure when the FIFA World Cup game is going to be released, but the team's been a little bit silent about it recently, so I imagine January is not likely anymore, but I don't know. Anyway, this has been a good conversation to have about the dynamics of the switch from having your tokens in the auction to bridging them out to be in the regular LP. So that was a helpful conversation, I think, for the community, and to learn more about the decisions that they have available to them. Given that no one else is raising their hands and asking questions, and we're almost 90 minutes into it, I think we should wrap it up. Any last words from anyone? Sam?
Sorry. Yeah, just excited for what we got going on. We've got a good AMA as well coming up from FLUF World, and yeah, just excited for what we got going on this year. Year of the Rabbit's about to kick off, so Stoked for it.
Yeah, and regarding that AMA, do we have it pinned number 1?
Yep, it's pinned.
can we
It's a few deep. I think it's like 3
It's
deep.
Thursday, right?
No, it's
I'm having Twitter
it's the
issues.
third one from the first. So it is, yeah, it's pinned to the top there. 20th, 11 a.m. New Zealand time. The 19th, which is 2 days,
5 p.m.
Thursday.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
5 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So, and around like 45 hours from now.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, lots of moving parts going on, so should be a good year.
Yeah. And so to wrap things up, thanks to everyone that listened and participated. Thanks to our guests for coming on and talking to us about ATEM. We'll be back next week with more Futureverse content. I think you'll be excited for the conversation that we'll have next week with a guest that we have lined up and we'll announce later. And Sam, do you have the outro ready before I finish wrapping up? I'll just extend the wrap up just in case. So this recording of this show will be available as soon as we end it. And thank you guys for all your support, for continuously showing up throughout the bear market, and hopefully, we'll bring a lot of excitement in the next months.
Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!